Good evening, everyone. The March 9th, 2021 meeting of the Marion County School Board is called to order. Before I ask Board Member Cummings to read our commitment statement, I would like to take a moment of silence to acknowledge and grieve the loss of Mrs. Barbara Delosier, cherished teacher from Marion Oaks Elementary School. May we have a moment of silence, please? Thank you. Board Member Cummings, would you please read our commitment statement?
We are the Marion County School District Leadership Team. When we come together to work, we are efficient, effective, and productive. Our three most important characteristics are dedicated, transparent, and individually responsible. To work well together, we must demonstrate respect, confront reality, and be accountable. We will always put students first. We will leave a legacy of success.
Thank you, Board Member Cummings. For the courtesy of those listening to the meeting, I am requesting everyone in the audience, please turn off your electronic devices or put them on vibrate. Later in the evening, up to 30 minutes will be provided for individuals to address the board on matters concerning the operation of the Marion County school system or the school board only. Presentations to the board are limited to 5 minutes and are televised. If you wish to address the board regarding a regular agenda item or matters on which the board customarily takes action, you must first complete a peach form located on the table in the hallway. If you wish to address the board regarding a public hearing or a student discipline matter, please complete a lime green form. These forms must be fully completed and received by the board secretary no later than 5:40 p.m. The procedures applicable for each are on a separate sheet. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Allison Campbell, District 1.
Here.
Mrs. Beth McCall, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Eric Cummings, District 3.
Here.
Mrs. Nancy Thrower, District 4.
Here.
Mrs. Kelly King, District 5.
Here.
Dr. Diane Gullett, Superintendent.
Here.
Mr. Jeremy Powers, School Board Attorney.
Here.
Thank you. We're happy to welcome Ms. Christine Strickler, teacher of and program specialist for grades 6 through 12 math. Please introduce who will be providing us with the inspiration and the pledge.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, and Superintendent Gullett. Today, I have the privilege of introducing two scholars to you, Sarah McGinley from Forest High School and Reagan Reese from Vanguard High School. These are both outstanding juniors in mathematics and science. These hardworking young ladies will be representing Marion County as our 2021 Sunshine State Scholars at the state recognition event and competition hosted by the Florida Department of Education. Sarah and Reagan will both share a few words of inspiration, and then Reagan will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Excellent. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sarah McGinley, and I'm a student in the EMIT program at Forest. And one of the things that I remember being told just before I joined was that EMIT would prepare us for life, and engineering was just the modem they were using to get us there. They didn't expect everyone to go off and become engineers, and many don't even pursue STEM careers. It struck me as a little strange because I wondered how an engineering program could help someone who wanted to pursue, say, writing or photography or culinary arts. Well, it turns out it's because the most important thing STEM subjects teach us is not the material. Admittedly, the material is very important. We need chemistry and biology to cure diseases, and we need math and physics to build safe structures. But the most important lessons come from learning how to problem solve. Not just learning, but applying the techniques from the scientific method or the engineering design process prepares us for any challenge. For example, in class we are tasked with building model rockets with our team. We know almost nothing about rockets, so we spend time doing thorough research. Later in life, when we face problems with which we have no experience, we will turn to research, regardless of whether the subject matter is STEM related. Likewise, when our rocket fails during preliminary testing, we analyze the causes, loop back to the brainstorming stage, and then repeat the design process. When we are unsuccessful in later projects, we will know how to emulate the same process and not give up. When schools provide STEM education, students gain more than just knowledge. They have the skills they need to be successful in all areas of their lives. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Reagan. I think what Sarah said was very well said. STEM in our schools is very important, and myself, I'm very fortunate to be able to take opportunities, just like Sarah, at my school. I remember when I was going into high school, I didn't think that you never know what you like, you never know what you want to do with your life, and me having the opportunity to take 2 science classes every year really helped cultivate my love for science and math, and I feel like its importance is also in technologies as well, just like how we have the technologies given to us, and it is up to us, the students, on what we do with it to help better our world today. Thank you. Oh, and then I will now recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
And young ladies, please don't run away. I'm sure the rest of the board has comments to share with you. Would you like me to start?
I'll start. I mean, so what careers are you pursuing? What's next for you? I know you're just juniors right now, but what are you? What's your favorite thing that you're studying? Where's that taking you next?
I'll start if. Okay.
You just put some pressure on them, Alex.
You need to answer those 6 questions as fast as she asked them.
Well, right now, I think my favorite subject right now is chemistry, and I'm very lucky to have my teacher, which is Mr. Ewan Hunter, who was last year, who was the Marion County Teacher of the Year, actually, yes. And he takes us on a field trip to Silver Springs. We're actually going this Thursday again to not only learn chemistry in the classroom, but to also learn it out in the real world. We're going to collect soil and water samples and then take them back and test them. And to me, I think that really stands out as something that I'd like to do as well and continue my education in chemistry. Thank you.
It's going to sound really similar because I'm also really into chemistry this year. I didn't feel like I had any exposure to it until I took it chemistry honors last year and then this year AP. And I have Mr. Dariso as a teacher, and he's probably my favorite teacher at a lot of times just because it's very, I don't know, you really explore the subject and it doesn't necessarily feel like work.
Right.
So I definitely want to look into that, and also combining that with the medical program and the subjects I've taken there. I really want to kind of bring those together and do something in medicine.
Wonderful. I know impactful teachers are really what has led me also into my career path. And I was a sophomore in high school whenever I had one of those teachers that inspired me. So I know that sometimes it's not just the subject you're studying, it's also the inspiration of that educator that is helping light that fire in you. And so I'm really excited to hear that. I'm really loving what you said about learning problem-solving skills and learning those things that you're going to take with you throughout your careers and throughout your educational career, because learning group activities and how to research and all of those things that you're doing right now, it actually will be something that you'll carry on into whatever chosen career that you choose. And I'm just grateful that you are representing us, and I know that you're going to represent us well.
Sarah and Reagan, I first want to commend both of you for the accomplishments that you've attained thus far. And we know that you will represent Marion County well. I think Ms. Campbell put some pressure on you to kind of, she said, yeah, to kind of determine where they're going. I want to say this, if we haven't saw or learned anything in this past year, we learned the importance of chemistry and science. Everybody saw the importance of it, and everybody is seeing it right now. So I want to encourage you to continue to do what you love. If it's chemistry, if it's math, we need engineers, we need many scientists. So please keep following your dream, your passion, and if you do it because you love it, you'll enjoy the job. It won't be a job; it'll be a lifestyle, a career. So congratulations to both of you.
Congratulations to both of you. Today I watched the Early Learning and Elementary, the House of Representatives Early Learning and Elementary Education Subcommittee on the Florida Channel. And one of the things that they talked about was the lack of our students in the state of Florida going into science and math, and what can we do about that. So I commend you. So thank you. I hope that whatever careers that you pursue, that you will look at coming back, if not to Marion County, which we really would like you here, at least in the state of Florida, and pursuing that math and science, whatever you do. So thank you, young ladies, for that, and congratulations. We look forward to hearing how you did in your competition. So thank you.
And I'd like to add to what you said about how not enough people are interested in science and math, and I really think that starts at a young age, the foundation, because for me, especially when I was in 5th grade and 4th grade, that's when I really started to decide that I liked math, because I had those great teachers. And I think that when you have great teachers at such a young age and you continue to have that great foundation, that's really what cultivates that love for math and science.
Absolutely, and you should have testified today in the House Subcommittee, because that is exactly
I heard about
that is exactly what they were saying. They were saying that we need to start younger. So, gosh, I wish we'd done this last night. I would have had you testify today.
Well, they'll be around for another year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We'll remember.
Yes.
Yes, I just want to say congratulations. I am the girl that got in trouble in chemistry for breaking a thermometer, and I'm still scarred from it. So, so I am, as a board member, I am very proud of seeing 2 women in front of us, young ladies in front of us with math and chemistry. You guys rock. But I heard some really good lifelong skills, and that was to research. If you fail, analyze, and don't give up. Do it again and don't give up. If you guys had this in 11th grade, I can't even imagine where you guys are going to go. So you guys just keep on doing what you do best, and I think it's probably everything and not just chemistry and science or science. So
Thank you.
congratulations.
Yes, Sarah and Reagan, what really makes my heart sing is that you're so connected to school. That you're really interested and you feel like your learning is relevant, and that, because knowledge is great, but knowledge becomes fantastic when you apply it, when it's relevant to the real world and real world experiences. And that's what I hear you saying. And Silver Springs, what a gem,
Yes. Right in our backyard. That's why we need to take advantage of it.
That's right, and take good care of it too. So thank you again. It's always great to have our students come before us. It makes us very excited for the meetings. Good luck to both of you. Come back and see us. Hey, Dr. Gullett.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. It's always great to kick off the meeting with our amazing students. At this time, I recommend approval of the agenda for the March 9th, 2021 school board meeting with the materials in the board packet. Those materials distributed to the board members at the meeting, and the audio recording included as part of the official record of the meeting.
Thank you. May I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation? Moved by King.
Second.
Second by Cummings. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. May I have a motion to approve the revised minutes for the January 21st, 2021 administrative briefing and work session?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Campbell.
Second.
Second by Board Member McCall. Is there any discussion or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the January 26th, 2021 school board meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member McCall. Second by Vice Chair King. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. All right, moving on. I will now ask the school board's attorney to explain the rules governing persons who wish to attend the school board, to address the school board meeting tonight. Good evening, Attorney Powers.
Good evening, and thank you, Madam Chair. In compliance with Section 286.0114 of Florida statutes, the school board has adopted uniform procedures for public speakers who wish to speak at tonight's meeting, either regarding one of tonight's agenda items or a matter relating to the operations of the school district. These procedures will ensure the public has had a reasonable opportunity to be heard on school board and school district matters. A written summary of these procedures is available from the table in the hallway. Public speaker forms are also located on the same table. The completed forms were due to the school board secretary no later than 5:40 p.m. Tonight's speakers will be called prior to the business portion of the school board's meeting in the order of receipt by the school board secretary. Before you begin speaking, please state your full name and address for the record, and spell your last name. Each speaker will have 5 minutes of time. However, if there are more than five persons who wish to speak, the board may seek consensus to limit each speaker's time to 3 minutes. When the speaker has 1 minute remaining, the speaker will receive a visual notice to complete his or her comments. Speakers may not yield their time to other people. Speakers and meeting attendees are expected to conduct themselves in a respectful manner. Therefore, verbal attacks and profanity are strictly prohibited. Pursuant to the procedures for public comments, item 6, speakers are not to identify specific individuals other than themselves or their child unless the statement's provided 24 hours in advance. If there are matters dealing with student discipline, including expulsions, they will be scheduled at the conclusion of the televised portion of this meeting. Parents may address the board regarding a discipline matter at that time. To ensure student privacy, only a parent or guardian may use the student's first or last name. Identifying references to or identification of other students and or their families are strictly prohibited. Thank you for your attention to the board's requirements. Chair, that concludes my explanatory remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Powers. Secretary Martinez-Lopez, do we have any speakers tonight?
We have 3, Chair. Terry Lefebvre.
Are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
My name is Terry Michael Lefebvre. Lefebvre is L-E-F-E, like boy, V like Victor, R-E. I represent a company called Kane Innovations who have recently bid a project here at the school board on a hurricane shelter retrofit.
And your address, sir?
I'm sorry?
Your address also, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. The address is 2250 Powell Avenue in Kane, Pennsylvania. Erie, Pennsylvania is the home office. Erie, Pennsylvania. And like I say, this project was bid out, and then after the bid was done, a few weeks later, they decided we're going to call somebody else in to get some pricing and what have you. You know, we're basically just trying to figure out. We do this work all over the state of Florida, have been doing it for in excess of 15 years, and don't usually lose any bids or have any problems getting winning bids. And I just really don't understand how this procedure is happening. At this point, we don't know if we get the job or we don't get the job. The school board passed the job off to one of your construction managers, and like I say, we're just basically trying to figure out how this is going to proceed. I mean, when we're talking to you now because we feel like this is the only opportunity we're going to have to address this. Can somebody explain how the procedure works?
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Lefebvre, and we do need, it sounds like, to hear from Dr. Gullett on how to best connect you to answer your questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. If it's permissible, I'd love for if Mr. Vianello could step out into the hall. I'm not aware of this, and so perhaps he can get some additional information so we can assist.
Can I sit down?
Mr. Vianello is right here, and he will be happy to speak with you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Vicki Trulib.
She's in the hall, I think.
She might be in the hallway.
She was in the hallway, I believe.
Hello, my name is Vicki Trulib. I reside at 4700 Southeast 33rd Avenue, Ocala, Florida 34480. That's Treulieb. Madam Chairman, members of the board, Superintendent, thank you for having me. Oftentimes, minute actions go unnoticed and unthanked. However, I wanted to bring one to your attention. Last week, I had a field trip that wasn't approved because it was deemed inessential to my program. The field trip was to watch a performing arts high school's production of Macbeth. I teach theater and English too, where Macbeth is a part of the curriculum in all of our textbooks. It isn't often that a nearby theater performs the Shakespearean play that we're actually reading. And my principal agreed with me and signed off on the field trip only to have it rejected at the district level. I challenge this rejection of the field trip as it satisfies multiple standards in each of the subjects and brings the words on the pages to life. Scripts are meant to be performed, not just read. I knew this field trip was beneficial for these students, and I fought for it. My area director arranged a meeting with me yesterday, and for that I am extremely grateful. He listened attentively to my side, and together we came to a compromise that allowed my theater students to attend the production. But this did limit the English 2 students at my school who were studying the play. In total, 35 of my students are permitted to see the play Thursday night instead of the original 90. And again, I am thankful that he listened to my plea and was able to compromise with me so that we could provide these students the chance to see a live production. We should always be able to work together to move forward and do what's best for our students. My concern, however, is why this meeting was even necessary in the first place. I understand the concerns of COVID. I live and breathe it every day. I understand taking precautions and protecting our students to the best of our ability. As a whole, our statistics prove that we have been doing this since August. But we had just let 50 students go to Lakeland to watch a basketball game, yet we couldn't let these students go watch a theatrical production that aligned with their textbooks and standards. This seems like a double standard to me, and it still does. It raises the tired question of what matters more, academics or athletics. This question wasn't lost on my students either. They see these and they hear what we're saying, and children will listen. I understand allowing trips that relate to the participation of a sports program, but in only thinking this way, we are neglecting the students who aren't involved in sports from having valuable learning opportunities outside of the classroom. I'm saddened for these students to not have academic learning opportunities this year, to not have something different to enhance their learning and also aid their understanding of tested standards on the FSA. Again, I stress how thankful I am to be afforded the opportunity to take my theater students to the performance, but I hope moving forward that we provide more consistency and direction on field trips that are allowed, and also look to provide these academic opportunities for more children than just the ones involved in athletics or specialized programs. Again, I am happy that our dedicated team saw the worth in our trip and worked together to find the best solution possible. I cannot express enough gratitude to our area director for allowing this to happen and to speak with me. I just would like there to be clarity and equity for all students moving forward so that this doesn't happen again. Thank you very much.
Ms. Trulieb, I do have one quick question, just for clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that there were 50 students that went to the basketball game. Were they all athletes?
No, they were not athletes. They were just students at the school who were provided the opportunity to go watch the state championship game that Forest High School participated in. And I'm happy that they had the opportunity to do that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Daniel King?
Yes, thank you for hearing me tonight. I do not come with a complaint of any kind. Superintendent, Chair, members, my name is Daniel King, K-I-N-G. I'm at 12600 Southwest Highway 484 in Denellen, Florida. These girls were awesome. It brought me back to my junior high drafting class teacher. And he said, you did a great job, and it inspired me. So I went to General Motors eventually and different places. And anyway, it was awesome to hear them say that because education is so important. It's so very important. I'm a concerned citizen. I just want to introduce myself. I do have a specific point, a question. But as a concerned citizen, parent, and grandparent, every election cycle we find ourselves asking who to vote for, what are the issues. That's why we came last month for our first time. I've never been in this type of a meeting. Many corporate meetings, but not this. We recognize as citizens it's our responsibility to make ourselves aware of the issues and to know and learn about the candidates. As a Christian, it is our responsibility to know the issues, pray for those governing our society and teaching our children. Our children are going to lead the society one day, and we do pray for our leaders, governmental leaders, pastors. This includes the school board members. It's easy to sit back and say leadership's not doing their job. Unfortunately, we do not know the issues you're facing, the situations you must deal with, so we cannot be specific in our praying or how we may even be of service to you. Margaret, my wife, and I have 9 grandchildren, 7 girls. One is a nurse in Tampa General now. The rest are between mid-teens and mid-college. None live in Marion County, but most of them have been involved in lower, middle, and high school sports, with 2 on sports scholarships at universities, with a 3rd granddaughter's university scholarship coming up this next year. Our grandchildren and children are the next generation. What they are taught, how they're taught, and what opportunities await them are of utmost importance to us all. That's who we are and our other friends here. We are not an organization. We're just people that are concerned about what is going on in our society, and as we all are, with a lot of changes. But we're here tonight to begin to understand the issues, and last month, to let you know we want to know how the school board works, and we'll do that by sitting here and listening. And I'm fairly impressed, to be honest with you. It's very professional and to learn who you are, who the remaining board, and as we come up into new elections, there will be some maybe leave, some may new ones. Who are they? And other than talking amongst friends that might know Sally or John or somebody, how do we do that? And to possibly have a voice in future curriculum changes. Some states have adopted the California curriculum does not honor God, our country, or teach children subjects that at younger ages especially do not need to be taught, in our opinion. Alternate sexual practices, for example. 1st, 2nd, 3rd graders. It's mind-boggling to us. We're here tonight to ask, what can parents and grandparents do to support you? How should we pray for you? Of great interest, we ask the following question, with two points following. What is the state of Florida and this school board doing to protect our children, especially our young men, from the new administration's executive order framed as transgender rights? Aside from any moral discussion, and that's not what I'm here for, how can a person born with a female body compete against a person with a biologically male body? Our granddaughters would have extraordinarily little opportunity to excel in their sports, competing unequally in these sports. Not only would they have not had an equal opportunity to win in their chosen fields and their triathlons or triathletes, 2 of them are, but they would lose the opportunity to gain the scholarships they worked so hard for. That's my question. What are we doing? What is this board, what is the state doing? And I know Member McCall, I know you mentioned you're in Tallahassee more. I know I'm about out of time. We're not uncaring bigots that don't care about people. We want to we want to have equal opportunity for all of our children to compete within the biologically given bodies and get proper education. It's an attack on women's rights, and there are states, as you know, have already passed legislation to not participate in the federal government's mandates. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and appreciate you coming forward tonight and sharing what you shared. And there are multiple ways to connect with any of us board members, and also we do have a school board attorney, Attorney Powers, who is always happy to meet and answer those legal type questions. So thank you very much for.
May I ask a final question? I asked the question, is there anything being done in the state of Florida, like some of the other states have already taken lead, and or this board?
I'll defer to Attorney Powers first.
Okay. When the issue came up several years ago, we as a board decided that if children were uncomfortable going to a restroom that they felt was not their gender, we made accommodations by allowing them to go to a single restroom. We did not, at that point, allow for them to use locker rooms of genders that they were not born with. So, but what the state of Florida is doing right now, I don't know, Attorney Powers.
So long as you'll be happy to discuss with you, you can give me a call at my office. But essentially, as of August 2020, St. Johns County, there was a case there, an appellate court case from the 11th Federal Circuit, which does now require that that any student who identifies as transgender may be able to use the same bathrooms as any other student. Okay.
Can you move your mic over, Mr.?
Yes. So, what we do, and I have been impressed with within our district, is every school, at every school, students are treated with respect, regardless of who they are, regardless of what their identification is. We've not, to my knowledge, experienced any difficulties with students not being treated with respect and being treated in ways that allow them to be properly accommodated within the bounds of the law. Currently, the answer to your question is the state of Florida has not taken any legislative action. There is 11th Circuit federal court action which prohibits us and requires us to do certain things. In addition, I can tell you that the most recent executive orders that have been signed by the new administration in Washington do have requirements which have not filtered down to the local school level yet. Those include some of the things you were talking about. Title IX, which is what governs women's sports, Title VII. There are many issues that haven't hit us yet. Everybody in the school boards, I always say that schools are where society comes in contact with government, where our individuals, if you think of the amount of time we spend in contact with government, most of us don't spend time in the courthouse very much. Most of us spend time in contact with schools. That's where the rubber meets the road. So we're forced to deal with those issues. Every societal issue that comes, we need to deal with it, and we do our best to do so. As it comes, we will continue to deal with it. I have great faith in our board to be able to handle it in those ways. And I think that as a concerned citizen, no matter if you were the parent of one of those children or yourself, and the concerns you've expressed today, I believe that we make careful and deliberative decisions, and we do what is in keeping with the law and what is within keeping with our community standards. So I'll be happy to speak with you at any time if you'd like. You're welcome to call me.
Thank you very much for the extra time you allowed for answering that question.
Sir, go ahead.
Before you go, Mr. King.
Yes.
Thank you for expressing that you are concerned and you do want to get to know the board members. I'm your representative for District 3 from Dunella, and so I want to tell you thank you for hearing that you pray for the board members and you pray for the pastors. So since I'm a pastor and a board member, I guess I get two prayers.
Double duty.
I get double prayers, but you can reach out to any of us. We're on the website. We're easily accessible to get to talk to us, and you don't have to talk to us in this setting. We're happy to meet you one-on-one and have that conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was on the sitting board, and actually we do have policy we don't have the policy?
There was a
Or-
resolution that was passed.
The
which-
resolution.
which has
Okay,
since
so we have-
expired and is not any more good law.
Oh, it's not? Well, then we need to revisit that. I think we, as a board, we need to revisit that because we see what's coming, and I would like to see us be proactive rather than it.
And currently, we are simply following what is required by federal guidelines and by the court case out of the 11th Circuit.
Well,
So,
that's okay, but we're still.
certainly doing that.
I'm not okay with that.
And this is why I wanted to come. I wanted to raise it. I hope we stir it up a little bit to be more proactive. I understand there's multiple levels, and if my son was the other side of that, there'd be a different kind of argument. The common sense point of my granddaughters. A biological male, equal weight, equal size, will most often, I think, I'm not the biologist, but will be superior in strength than the same physical characteristics of a female. That sounds maybe anti-feminine or something. I don't mean it to be that way, because there's some big, we used to call them
Be careful.
roller derby.
Be careful. Be careful.
Roller derby. You know, I'm trying to say they're
Yes, sir.
so
Yes, sir.
characteristics. I mean, I'm not trying to be generalized like that, but I see my granddaughters and how hard that they have worked, and I wouldn't want to see them lose that, and other young women coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
King, you can also feel free to pray for the school board attorney, too. Didn't list me. You mentioned the superintendent and the board.
He needs a lot. He needs a lot.
I would welcome that at any time.
Madam Chair, I was going to actually mention that when you asked specifically how you can pray, you see the issues that are coming our way. And while they haven't hit us yet, they're heading our way. And so understanding, praying for board members, praying for our attorney, praying for our superintendent, praying for our administration as we're a governance team about to experience things that we've never experienced before. And additionally, praying for our students very specifically, because their mental health, their concern and care, and ensuring that they maintain a high level of academic excellence while they're dealing with everything else that's going on that they are just experiencing for the first time. So we certainly appreciate your prayers and covet them. Thank you.
And our phone numbers and emails are on the website, and all of us are very accessible.
Yeah, and I need to add to that, this isn't the first time that
Yes.
that has been brought to this board's attention. I was here in
I was here.
2015. Were you here?
Yes.
Okay, so, because it went back, I can't remember.
So I was
So you
here
were
during the
with us.
resolution.
Okay, so you have two board members. This isn't new to us. So it was coming down the pike as a board, the current board back then. We did make a resolution to some things that were coming from the federal level. And we, as a board and as a district, we did not agree with it. And we were prepared to do what we needed to do. So I just want to reassure you that there is some experience, there are, some background knowledge with this and where we're heading. So I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
That's right. I could not.
That's it?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Moving on to resolutions. May I have a motion to approve resolution number 21-01, a resolution of the School Board of Marion County, Florida, permitting 5 additional paid days of paid Marion County Public School leave for COVID-19 related reasons and continue provisions outlined in the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, FFCRA. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member McCall.
Second.
Second by Board Member Cummings. Is there any discussion? I'll just say I'm very happy on behalf of the rest of the board to be able to hopefully provide this. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to receive public input prior to board approval of the 2020-2021 recommended instructional materials for adoption at a public hearing scheduled for March 23rd, 2021. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Cummings, second by Board Member Campbell. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion passes unanimously. Superintendent Gullett.
Thank you. Good evening again, members of the board. Chair Thrower. This public hearing assures compliance with Board Policy 4.21 by providing an open noticed public meeting to receive comments on recommended materials prior to adoption. The vote on the adoption of the 2020-2021 recommended instructional materials will be during a public hearing at the March 23rd, 2021 school board meeting.
I declare a public hearing. Is there anyone present who wishes to provide input on the 2020-2021 recommended instructional materials for adoption? Okay, seeing none, we'll move forward. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda items C8.1 through C16.1? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member McCall, second by Vice Chair King. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, moving on to donations. May I have a motion to approve the following cash or tangible donations that have a dollar value of $25,000?
So moved.
Keep going.
Yes, and then you do it.
That's right. I always get ahead of myself. I'm ready to just vote yes without even saying what they are. Okay, $20,000 to Hillcrest Public School from an anonymous donor. $5,000 to Westport High School from American Association of School Librarians, a division of the American Library Association. All right, is there any discussion?
I don't think, do we have a motion yet?
May we have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Cummings. Second by Campbell. Is there any discussion?
None.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Ms. Campbell, would you please, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and do the acknowledgement tonight. Everyone that knows me knows that Hillcrest School is near and dear to my heart, as are all of the schools, but it is amazing that this anonymous donor continues to donate $20,000 every single year for as many years as almost I can remember, never wanting to be publicly acknowledged and just really caring about our most unique kids with the most unique needs. So really just like to thank whoever that anonymous donor is again. And also to the American Association of School Librarians. We all know how important libraries and librarians are to literacy. So for Westport High School to receive this generous donation is absolutely wonderful as well. So thank you so much to these two donors, and thank you as always to everyone that supports our public schools. Okay, we'll move on to committee reports and concerns. Should I start with meeting reminders? Okay. Meeting reminders, the following administrative briefing and work session is scheduled for March 10th, 2021 at 9 a.m. The purpose of the work session is to discuss Accelerating Learners, Early Childhood Learning Academy proposal, District Offices MTI update, Transportation Custodial updates, and Social Emotional Learning curriculum, then followed by a shade session. The following administrative briefing and work session is scheduled for April 5th at 2021 at 9 a.m. The purpose of the work session is to discuss new charter school application review, annual review of alternative learning, 2021 updates, and 2022 funding projections for our self-funded health plan, first of two, Code of Student Conduct, first of two, District Emergency Management Procedure Manual, 5-year school plant survey, one of two, and COVID-19 updates if needed. All right, we'll move on to committee reports and concerns, and tonight we'll start with Dr. Gullett.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I'd first like to thank you all for your support of extending and offering this 5 additional days of employee leave. I know how much you all value our employees as well, and so thank you for your support in that. I also think it's critically important to remember that we are at about 1 year of the pandemic, and no coincidence that we're getting ready to start on spring break next week. So as a reminder to all of our staff and students to please stay safe. Students, we expect you to come back and finish strong, but I want to extend warmest wishes and just to enjoy your time, but do it safely. Well-deserved time off for all of our staff, and just want everyone to just know how much we care about them and appreciate them this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Gullett. Attorney Powers.
I think I've spoken my word limit for the evening, so I will simply pass on to the next board members.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Powers. Secretary Martinez Lopez.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Vice Chair King.
Yes. I think with maybe some of us, I'm not sure who all attended the Florida School Board Association legislation meeting last Friday. It was good to hear what's coming our way. And they did discuss a little bit about the Senate Bill 886, as Ms. McCall mentioned last week. It looks like there's probably getting some traction on holding the hold harmless kind of verbiage this year with the testing and stuff like that.
It does have a House companion bill now, too.
And it has the House companion now bill too, which was good. And there's also on the House Bill 321, there's some discussion about reemployment of teachers who have retired, that they wouldn't have to wait the 6 months to come back if they wanted to substitute, or if they wanted to teach, they could teach immediately. So that's on there. That would be good. There was another bill on there that is a little bit of concern to me, and I think we need to be watching it. I also believe that teachers need to be watching this bill, and it is Senate Bill 7018, and that is where the Senate is signaling that they will be looking at our retirement plans, and it's our pensions. And so if this bill passes in July of 2021 this year, they want to make it that new teachers will not be able to participate in the FRS plan. And that would be a concern also for those that have been in the pension plan for many years, because if people aren't paying into it, how is that going to fund, and what is that going to look like in the future? We need to be paying close attention to all these bills that are coming through. There's a lot coming on through education this year, and everybody, not just the school board, but everybody has a voice. And if we all gather together and make our one voice, one message heard, we need to probably really be paying attention and let Tallahassee know what our voice and what our message is, because we are their constituents. And so I just want to bring that up tonight. And then also, spring break is coming up, and then this is the time of the year that it seems like you get reports of broken arms and legs and stuff, and it's because the weather is wonderful and people want to be outside and play. So I just want to end with telling everyone to please be safe, enjoy your break. Every one of you deserve it. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Vice Chair King.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. King. And I would reiterate to please be watching what's going on in Tallahassee right now with session. All your representatives and senators all have emails, and please reach out to them, reach out to their aides. There is a lot going on with education that we're looking at, and a lot of it has a lot of traction, and it's moving. So if you follow the bills, and I'm happy to talk to anybody about any of them, let your legislators know your feeling, whether it's a yay or a nay, but there are some concerning bills out there. So stay tuned. I would like to once again thank the Kings and let you know, and your guests know, that a lot of the nitty-gritty that happens at the school board is not necessarily at the school board meeting. It is at our workshops. And we would love to have you come and listen in on any of our workshops, because I think you'll have a very good indication of a lot of the issues that we face and a lot of the different things that we do. So a lot of things on the consent agendas we have discussed in length at our workshops. So I invite you at any time to join us. They're usually the first and third Thursdays of every month at 9 o'clock.
Except tomorrow.
Except tomorrow. We have one tomorrow, scheduled tomorrow, kind of an all day. There's a lot of issues on that one. So we invite you, we welcome you at any time to join us. I mentioned at the workshop, but I want to mention again, because I know many more listen, that I had the opportunity last week to go to Bellevue High School's choral concert. And it was really done very well, Ms. Riddle and her students, and it was in a gymnasium, and they were social distanced, and the kids were singing in choral mask. And it was a beautiful concert. And I know if it had been able to be in the auditorium without mask and they were together closer, it would have even been more beautiful. So it's a difficult, being a vocalist is really difficult to sing in a gymnasium, and it's really difficult to sing in a mask, even a choral mask. So I want to again congratulate them and all of our music programs. I know Forest High School has a concert coming up. I know Westport has some things, some of our middle schools. So I want to thank our instructors for the job they're doing in keeping music alive. I sit on the Florida Schools Music Association Board of Directors for Florida School Board Association. We had our meeting Sunday, and many of our especially our instrumentalists, our band and orchestra, they're concerned because the children, it's hard to have band and orchestra online. And so they're concerned, especially at the middle school level, about being able to recruit. So it is a concern, and we all know that the arts is a huge part of education and mental health and all of that. So I want to thank everybody that's out there that's working so hard to continue with the arts. So thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Board Member McCall. Board Member Cummings.
Good evening, everyone. I want to echo what Ms. King said about Senate Bill 718. We need to continue to watch that, but we not only need to watch it, we need to make sure that our voice is heard on it. Most of you remember a few years ago, they did some stuff with our FRS, and folk didn't say anything to after the fact, and it was done. And it's affected us even now. So those of you that work in the district who are under the FRS plan should make your voices heard and should reach out to your representatives, your state representatives, and give them your concerns. So please pay attention in this legislative session. I want to commend all of our high school basketball programs, boys and girls, as well as our middle school basketball programs. We've saw some great things this past few weeks. They managed to have a season in the midst of this pandemic and relatively do it pretty safely. But I'll have a special commendation to the Forest High School boys basketball team who made it to the state championship game. They fell a little short, but that's just incentive for them to play hard and come back next year. So we want to commend them on that. And then as we are going into spring break, this year's spring break, as Superintendent has said, is a little bit different because I think there's a little angst on the parents. Because last year's spring break turned into summer break.
It never ended.
It turned to a summer break, and they were like, when is this going to end? Well, I think that we're in a much better place than we were last year. I do think parents that they'll be coming back in a week or so, but we want them to come back safe, whole, in one piece and not broken up. So we're encouraging them to be safe, be responsible while they're out there. A lot of kids are going to the beach and different things. Please be safe. Please be safe. And let's not take it for granted that you have the opportunity to have a different type of spring break than we had last year. I'm always encouraging safety because I just see so many things and hear so many things how people just make some bad mistakes and it's costly. So we want to see all of our kids come back, and we want to see them come back ready for this last quarter and hit it real hard and finish strong. We started out strong. We've maintained that momentum. We've made it through a year where some schools have not went to, some states haven't had school yet in the traditional sense, and we've been able to do it. So I want us to finish strong, and I encourage you to have a great spring break, but come back safe.
And may I just interject, because two board members have now mentioned about the importance of voting or in contacting representatives. Many people don't know who to contact or how to contact them. I just want to point out, if you go to votemarion.gov, Wesley Wilcox, our supervisor of elections, has a link there where you can enter the street name that you live on, and it will give you exactly who your representatives are for both the House of Representatives and the Senate, Florida, and U.S. So votemarion.gov.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's very helpful. This is so timely. All right, thank you, Board Member Cummings. Board Member Campbell.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Cummings, for mentioning the Forest boys basketball team. Yes, it hopefully will motivate them for next year. They did only have one senior this year, so I believe they will have almost a full team heading into next year, so I think that's exciting. And thank you, Ms. King, for mentioning the FSBA legislative session. I did not attend and had it a part of my question tonight to see who did and if it was worth watching the recording, and I saw that email came out today. So I may very well do that. So thank you for that information and the recommendation potentially there. I also wanted to mention I went to the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting, which is my assigned spot with the City of Ocala last night. And really, I sit there just for information purposes and I'm not a voting member of that committee, but it was good for me to hear the dialogue about Winding Oaks development that they are talking about and see the land that's the carve out where we have a proposed elementary school at some point that might go there. So that was good for me to see and hear that dialogue that they were having. Additionally, this morning I participated in the Governor's West meeting, and those folks were asking again about an update on Howard Academy. They're always very interested in knowing monthly where we are with Howard Academy, and Councilman Bethea was on that call today, and he and I have had some dialogue a little bit about that too, just about some thoughts that I had as they're heading into committee at some point with that. And so they're looking forward to knowing when that committee will start meeting. And I believe Reverend Cummings has sent that information on to Dr. Gullett. So as soon as that committee starts meeting, I know they're excited to get engaged. Today I also visited with Megan Magamol. So I know you all had invitations in your boxes, as did I, the new executive director of the Public Education Foundation. And she's invited each one of us individually to go and meet with her. And I did mine today. And I really am excited for her vision and what she wants to do with the foundation and how she's looking to align the strategic visioning and strategic planning of the foundation with the school board as we finalize ours, so we can be heading in the same direction on the same initiatives and making systemic impact with the Public Ed Foundation aligning with the school district. And so I know I'm excited about where we're heading with that on the strategic plan. I also wanted to say kudos to a teacher from Osceola Middle School who reached out to me this week and was asking specifically about some dialogue that we have had, and you all have, I'm sure, have received questions from teachers about the raises that they've heard about and they still haven't received their money and where that is in process. And I know we've talked about it collectively and just talked about it recently. And so I was able to email this person right back and say, this is the information that we just received. But I then had a conversation with Dr. Gullett, and it then went out mass communication to all teachers. And I'm very grateful for that, because that certainly helps. What we have heard then is then translated to them, and they're able to understand what the delay has been, and that has been on an individualized basis, and that our payroll department is going person by person to ensure those calculations are correct. And that is painstaking process, but I'm grateful for the work that they're doing and how the process may have taken longer than everyone would have hoped. It's not necessarily our fault that has been. It took a lot longer to get the money from the state than we had hoped, but we are working to ensure that all of those that got those raises are going to be getting them. And so I'm grateful for that, and I'm also grateful that the communication went out, because that then helps us to have the same message and consistently. And finally, just to echo what everyone has said about spring break coming up, but also as a parent with 3 kids right now working on projects that are finishing up, I understand what parents are dealing with projects heading into this end of the third quarter. And so students, please just finish strong and do your best to do the most that you possibly can to finish strong in this third quarter, so you'll be prepared for the fourth quarter. You'll be rejuvenated, hopefully. I know you have just a couple of days on the end of the third quarter right after spring break, so don't just totally check out. And get your rest, get your relaxation, but come back and be ready to finish strong for the fourth quarter. And same thing for our staff. It is a much needed break for them. And so I'm grateful for spring break every year, but even more so this year, I think, than ever before. And we are coming back. We are coming back for sure. This will not be an extended spring break. We will see you all in a week and a half ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Campbell. Yes, I will start with a specific public service announcement. Our spring break this year will last only 1 week.
Absolutely.
So make sure you come back, and we can't wait to see you. Have a great time do everything that makes you happy, get your rest, enjoy just being out and rejuvenating, because there's certainly a lot to rejuvenate from. And that's what I'm getting from the meeting tonight. You know, there is so much going on, and the more we progress in refining and enhancing our systems of communication so that the folks that are thirsty for the knowledge can get it, you know, easily. And if email is the best way to reach school staff, employees, teachers, whoever, then it's great to be doing that, because it really begins then to build a lot more trust. I think that we start to have the complaints when people don't understand the process or where we are in the process. And so many folks still don't know that our meetings are recorded and televised and available on YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And a lot of the discussion, as Board Member McCall said, the nuts and the bolts takes place at the work session, and then the school board meeting is more of our business meeting, where we do the voting and take care of that part. So it got me thinking today, and this will be for future discussion, but there appears to be so many gaps in how the systems and the processes work, that as a teacher, I think, gosh, what a great opportunity to earn MIP points and offer MIP points about the topics that we've been talking about, you know, how a school board works, how the state fits in, what you can do to become more active, just knowing about our wonderful Wesley Wilcox, and there's a quick, fast number that you can do in a website, and you can find out who your representatives are, you know, just like that. As a public school employee, to feel powerless, like everything is being handed down to you, becomes very disheartening, and that circles me back around to this pending bill. It's difficult enough to market public education right now. We have Mr. King up here tonight talking about a very sensitive topic that we'll be facing. And there's so many other things on top of the virus that we've dealt with this year. So I'm always on the lookout for ways to improve communication. It's one thing to say that we're communicating, but it's the how. Does it really reach people, you know, in a way that affects their knowledge? So it was a very important conversation to have tonight. And thank you again, sir, for stepping up, and I hope you'll continue to participate. Moving on to we do finally see things are looking better. It looks like we are going to have a face-to-face opportunity for the Florida School Boards Association summer meeting, which will be June 9th through the 11th. And it's important to talk about it quickly tonight because registration opens March 22nd. So please let Elena and Nicole know whether or not you plan to attend, because that will need to get on the board agenda for approval for that. So it'll be great to have everyone back together again and get that direct knowledge that's always offered. So please get with one of them as soon as possible. Also, we'll be talking more about transportation again tomorrow and getting updates. In the meantime, I do know that 6 full-time bus drivers have been hired since January, and there are 12 full-time and 1 temp in the pipeline to be hired. But sadly and importantly, it is a process to get on at Marion County Public Schools, and it's really a process to get on as a bus driver because of the training and, you know, all of the screening that has to be done. So we wish that relief was coming a whole lot faster, but just wanted to share the most up-to-date information that I was able to get as of today. And yes, go ahead.
Does that include our substitute bus drivers that maybe have already driven for us? Do we have substitute bus drivers that are
These are new ones. These are just new ones.
Those are new. So tomorrow maybe
we'll delve into that.
Where we are with the substitute bus driver. Okay.
Right, we'll delve into that more. And I was a little crestfallen that so far we only have 1 temporary driver since we boosted up the pay. It just kind of goes to show you, you know, it's hard to recruit anytime, but especially during COVID, when we were public in saying that the spread of the virus has been, attributable in several cases to transportation. So again, it's marketing. It makes me think and look at you, Board Member Campbell. But besides all that, we continue to just keep soldiering on, and we are overcomers. I mean, we've been open, we've stayed open, we've created opportunities, we've made adjustments, we've made accommodations, and we're going for it, and we're never going to stop. And the vaccinations are coming out more and more now. There's every day there's more opportunities. So for those of you that want to be vaccinated, it's coming your way. So there's a lot to celebrate, and the kids always make it worth it. So those are my thoughts for this evening. Okay. Pardon? Oh, did you want me to say that tonight? Okay. That they're going to be long. Okay. All right. Ms. Martinez-Lopez also wanted me to emphasize, and I'll say it again tomorrow, that we will be moving to the full-day work sessions, planning at least until 2 o'clock going forward. We may not need that much time. You know how that usually happens. Once you dedicate the time, then suddenly the agenda's shorter for some reason.
I'd rather have the
You know, Murphy's Law.
dedicated, though.
But it is difficult when we have them made plans to go other places and have had absolutely nothing to eat since 8 in the morning. You know, we need to just plan that better, and also for staff that's waiting to present. So what I'm visualizing is that, you know, we'll start at 9, take a quick, you know, mid-morning rest break, and then be able to plan lunch for 11:30 to noon, and then resume right at noon, and then go until 2 or whenever we need to be done. And hopefully that will help with the planning and the presentations. I think this board has proven that we're going to talk it over. There's very few topics where we just go, and then let it go. So we do go deep and we do discuss, and I feel like that's a strength of this board, so we might as well just dedicate the time because we're taking it anyway. All right. Anything else for the good of the cause? All right, very well. Before addressing expulsion matters, I wish to acknowledge that board members have received the alternative placement lists for students through February 17th, 2021. Mrs. Martinez-Lopez, are there any parents who have submitted a timely request to speak on their child's disciplinary matter?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of student JD 21-022, JD 21-031, JD 21-038, JD 21-039, JD 21-040E, JD 21-41, JD 21-42E, and JD 21-043 with educational services for the remainder of the 2020-2021 school year and the first semester of the 2021-2022 school year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair King.
Second.
Second by Board Member Cummings. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. There being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member McCall, second by Board Member Campbell. All those in favor say aye. 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 The meeting is adjourned at 6:39 p.m. Thank you.